the blunt reality of the world, as well as last year geopolitics intruding on the economics and markets. Marc Faber, familiar with the known unknowns. Marc Faber joining us from Zurich this morning. Marc, so much of what you predicted has come true, but there is an inherent resiliency to America. Why does America prosper given this great distortion?
Well, thank you for having me on your program. And I wouldn't call America prospering. What is prospering is the US dollar and the US financial assets. But say the economy of the lower classes, the lower income recipients, is not doing particularly well. So it's all relative. But relatively speaking, I agree with you, whereby I have to say, in Asia we have still numerous countries that are growing at, say, 3–4%, some like India at 6% per annum. So, hello?
Well, Marc, I look at where we are right now within this great distortion and the way markets move. What action would you like to see out of Janet Yellen?
Well, basically, I think that it would be better if interest rates were higher. I mean, I've been in this business for 40 years. I started to work in 1970, and I really never dreamt that in Switzerland, 10 years, government bonds would go to a negative yield. In other words, if you buy a 10 years US Swiss franc government bond, the yield will be negative every year for 10 years.
Marc, if it's all gloom and doom out there, where do you go for safety right now?
Well, I think there is, in my opinion, one asset class that is inexpensive. It has actually done reasonably well over the last 12 months, and that is gold. And I think that gold shares have bottomed out between the October-November lows and the recent highs. Some gold shares were up 40%. So this is a sector I like. Unlike other strategists who say the Americas is the only game in town, I would look at some emerging economies.